You know me, Renzo. You know I am a minimalist.
I do. I really admire that about you.
Well, I try. I try to be a minimalist. I'm not a minimalist for certain things. But the reason why I'm bringing this is because today's expression will give me an opportunity to talk about fast fashion.
Ooh.
One of the other things I think is
Hold on
bad.
here. Let me get your soapbox because I think you can make your important statements.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, but okay. This is just a Spanish phrase.
Just a Spanish Phrase, the companion podcast to News in Slow Spanish, where instead of delivering weekly news episodes to help you learn that wonderful language, here in English, we explore the origins and uses of common idiomatic expressions. So let's cut right to it. What is today's expression?
Lo barato sale caro.
Ooh. In English, literally.
The cheap costs more?
Yeah. What is cheap costs more.
Exactly. And it's not only for the person. Like, I know I spend quite a bit on high quality, durable shoes because I want to be comfortable when I walk. And I have a friend who spends very little on shoes. And I did the math the other day. You know,
Interesting.
those shoes,
The cheap ones.
yes, the cheap ones, they go by so fast that these friends end up buying a new pair every 3 months, 4 months. I have my same Blundstone boots that I love, that I use pretty much every season but summer.
Yeah.
I've had them for 3 years and they're like new.
Yeah, and they're Australian, right?
Yes.
So you can put 5,000 miles on them.
Exactly.
I just made a reference to a popular song. If anybody caught
I
that,
will go
listening to this.
5,000 miles.
Yes, I couldn't help myself. But that is really interesting. You did the math. And it's not just that. It's not just the shoes that you have to replace more often. Think about the foot pain. Is that really worth it?
No, not at all.
That cost also has to be considered.
Then you have to invest in insoles and all that. So
and doctor's
definitely,
appointments.
Lo
Sorry, go ahead.
barato sale caro applies not only to the consumer. When you buy cheap stuff, you have to replace it so often, so it ends up being more expensive in the long term. Do the math, people.
Yes.
But also, it costs more for the planet. Lo barato sale caro. There's a fascinating documentary. It's actually called Fast Fashion.
Yes. I've seen it.
Yes, where they explain the whole process of fast fashion. So back in the day, they used to have, like, designers used to have 2 seasons of fashion, right?
Yes.
Primavera, verano,
Spring, summer, and
otoño, invierno.
fall,
right?
winter.
And, people would change their their outfits depending on the season. But now, like, big chain stores, fast fashion stores, they have a new collection every month or every 2 weeks. And you see influencers on TikTok, on Instagram, being so proud of, oh, guys, I just bought 10 shirts because they were so cheap. That is not good. Yes, you can use a shirt twice and then dispose of it, but that creates like a very big problem for the planet and for poor countries who did not even spend their money on those clothes. Now they receive all the debris from rich countries. So lo barato sale caro also applies to other people paying for you.
Exactly. The environmental cost and the social cost. And it's fascinating to see how this trend it's been accelerating for years now, because you mentioned the 2 collections per year. That used to be the classic model for the fashion houses. And then some brands started accelerating to once per season, right? So that was 4 times a year. And then it became like every month. And now the speed with which new designs are put out is so fast that production also has to keep up. And you see the rise of... I'm not too familiar with it, but you've heard of Shein. Am I saying it correctly?
Oh,
Shein?
yes. That's a horrible company that sells very cheap stuff, and the labor practices and yes.
But not to point the fingers only at them, because they're just one of the big players in an industry that's following this trend. And, brands like Zara came before them and they started accelerating too. So you have all these clothes that are built or manufactured quickly and more cheaply with lower quality materials. So
they pay very little to their workers so they can guarantee a low price.
And they end up in landfills faster. And it's gotten to the point where it used to be that some developing countries would buy the excess or sometimes like the second hand.
They don't want it anymore.
Because they don't have room anymore. They don't have any need for, they don't need 5 t-shirts a month.
And we're consuming so much
Yes.
that it makes no sense. And nobody has more than 7 days in their week to wear all the outfits they're buying
Yeah.
before they go out of trend.
Oh, I'm totally with you. I would rather
Fortunately.
spend more on a high quality piece of clothing that'll last me a long time.
Yeah, or go to vintage stores. They sell like really high quality designer brands that because they're high quality, they can be old, but they still look good. And they sell them for way cheaper than a new, like very bad quality dress.
Absolutely.
So lo barato sale caro.
And in English, we might run into similar expressions like buy cheap, buy twice. That's a funny one.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
And it's true. You buy cheap, you have to replace so often. You buy 5 times.
That's right. And then the other one, the classic, you get what you pay for. So if you know, that's the idea that if you try to save money by going for the cheapest option, you're going to get a lower quality. So you get what you pay for.
And what is the origin of this expression?
Exactly. So this is sort of floating around in popular wisdom, you know, this idea of you get what you pay for, lo barato sale caro, but we can actually trace it to a economic philosophy attributed to John Ruskin. Okay? 1819 to 1900.
Okay.
And
Mr. Ruskin, what
this
did
economist
he say?
Was famous for saying that it's not sensible to overspend, but it's even worse to pay very little, to
Interesting.
underspend. So this is where this notion of trying to save or cut costs too much ends up having a much worse negative effect in the long term.
And I know back in the day, for example, refrigerators, phones, cars were made to last for a lifetime. Nowadays, we have planned obsolescence.
Yes,
where-
planned obsolescence. I think?
Obsolescence?
Planned obsolescence.
Obsolescence.
It's a term made famous by phones because
Because you buy a brand new phone and it doesn't last for life. At some
Right.
point, it will the battery starts dying, the phone starts dying, so you're forced
Yeah.
to replace it. And I've been thinking lately about new constructions because I feel new constructions are kind of flimsy.
oh,
They're
like
not-
buildings, like architecture.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And I know in certain countries, or probably here too, there was a famous case in Venezuela where they built a highway, they paved it, and the engineers cut costs, so they end up using asphalt that was very slippery. And in that
no.
segment of the highway, we started seeing a lot of accidents, and they had to redo the whole work again.
Wow, yeah.
Because lo barato sale caro. So it applies to clothes, it applies to engineering, it applies to everything.
It's so funny. It's so interesting, rather, how when you start unpacking an expression like this, the examples just start spilling out. And last one, you mentioning construction makes me think of one of the recent trends that we're going to see for the years to come, which is data centers.
Oh, yes.
Now, data centers, big upfront expenditures, big investments, but all these cities across the United States, let's speak about the United States specifically, many of them are rushing to compete for these contracts for the data centers that companies like Meta and Microsoft need.
For the AI, right?
For AI, all the computing needs that are skyrocketing now, mostly because of AI. But in rushing to win these bids to build these data centers in their towns, they are offering tax incentives, they're offering discounts, and then on top of that, data centers are often built with the, lowest cost possible upfront. So these are not buildings that are going to, many of them
Last.
are going to last.
or
exactly.
benefit their community, right?
Exactly, because then they don't need a lot of employees. And what are they going to do? What are these data centers famous for? At least in the popular culture right now, for eating up resources.
Water, electricity. So in the short term, these communities will get benefits, but in the long term, they're going to be depleted. They're going to be ghost towns.
Yeah, it's definitely, at least in the very least, there's controversy around like the use of resources, but we do know that it is a huge tax on the energy grid. And so lo barato sale caro. Maybe some savings now or some extra cash up front is good, but in the long term, it's going to cost us a lot more.
Very interesting. So we could talk about these for hours, but we ran out of time.
Maybe the data center enthusiasts are going to email me angrily later.
Oh, please feel free to email us. amigos@linguistica360.com. We love to debate.
Yes.
No, amigos@newsinslowspanish.com.
That's
sorry.
right. That's right.
It's info@linguistica360.com.
Or amigos@newsinslowspanish.com.
Yeah, we like to have good conversations.
And give us ideas for the next Just a Spanish Phrase.
Adios.